Hello designers, this is me Azad and it is day 9 of your Beginners to Pro series in AutoCAD. In previous video we were discussing about the dimension style manager where we saw like how to change the color, like basic things we saw, and the today will be the continuation of that. The remaining things are also there in that. So there are like two methods basically. So you can go here for the dimension style manager. Okay, otherwise you can just type is dim style, DIMSTY. Okay, so likewise also you can go inside. So we were at the modify. Okay, so we saw about this like how to change the line colors and type. Okay, so basically two different types of lines are there, which is extension line and the dimension line. And we saw how to change the color, the type of it, the thickness of it. Okay, and then other things. Okay, and now we'll go for the symbols and arrows. Okay, so in the symbols and arrows in the sense you can see for this dimension lines we are having the arrow marks. Okay, so these are the arrow marks which we do have. Okay, and when you give the arc length, so there one symbol also will come. Okay, so previously we saw about the how many types of the dimensions are there. Okay, so in that you might have seen that arc length symbol. Okay, so that symbol where to give. Okay, and regarding the jog jog things, likewise many things are there on which like the symbols and all those things will be there. Okay, so yeah, this is regarding that only. So where we are having the arrowheads over here. Okay, so this is the arrowhead one and this is arrowhead two. Okay, so for those things both the side different we can change it. Okay, so close refill it is there, open blank it is there, dot it is there, or architectural ticket is there. Okay, likewise multiple things are there. Okay, so which you can see from here. Okay, so yeah, so from here you can be able to change both the side. Okay, so one side I want the closed refill and the other side I wanted the dotted one. Okay, so likewise also you can be able to do. Okay, but majorly in mechanical we'll do it as a like closed refill only. Okay, yeah. So then we are having the arrowhead for the leader also. But anyways, these things we can ch change in the multi-style leader also. Okay, so multi-line like that leader it is not still over. Okay, so but still when it comes I'll tell you about that. Okay, and then we have arrow size. Okay, so majorly, what you have to remember is what text height you'll be going to give. Okay, so at least 75% or more than that or equal to your text height, you have to give the arrow size. Okay, so that you need to make sure. Okay, so let's say I have given the text size as a 5. So I gave the arrow size of 3. Okay, so 3, 4. Likewise, you can be able to give. Okay, so that the ratio of that has to be proportionate. Okay, so that it should look proper. Okay, and that to this heights also you will be giving with respect to your model what you have. Okay, so sometimes your model might be smaller or else it might be bigger. Okay, so in that way you will be going, right? So however your model is, okay, so with respect to that you can be able to go. Okay, yeah, so that is the one thing. Then we have something called as break size. Okay, so in the dimension, okay, so we have something called as dim break and dim space. Okay, so dimension space and dimension break. Okay, so regarding that also we'll discuss. Okay, so that time I'll tell you what is this break size. Okay, anyways, I'll just keep it as some 5. Okay, and then here arc length symbol. Okay, so as I told, okay, so when you give the arc length, so that time you can be able to give that symbol. Okay, so which will be sometimes preceding in the dimension, otherwise it might be above also. Okay, so you can give accordingly. Okay, otherwise if you don't want to give, you can keep it as none. Okay, but majorly it should be available. Okay, so either preceding the dimension text or above the dimensions text. Okay, and then you know about the geometry dimension where we'll be going to give like a z sign. Okay, so where you are representing the point of the center is somewhere, but this is just for the reference kind of. Okay, so there for that z we were having the angle which was 45. Okay, so if you want to change it, okay, so you can be able to change it from here. Okay, and then regarding the factor also you can be able to change that height factor. Okay, so it will be always the what value will be going to give that multiplied by the height of it. Okay, so the text height basically. Okay, so as of now the text height will the 5 and the factor you are going 0.5. Okay, so 1.5, sorry. Okay, so likewise it will be going to change anyways. Okay, so then we are having a text which is very important. The text height will be going to change majorly, and then here styles are there. Okay, so as you know, like text style. Okay, so it's just like you can be able to create the multiple text styles also. Okay, but by default there are standard and annotative. These two things are there. Okay, so it's not like both are different. Okay, so you can change it according to your like confirmation, like however you want. You can be able to do likewise. Okay, so, but anyways, by default, both will be similar only. Okay, so you can choose anything, and majorly the standard only will be chosen. Okay, yeah. So, anyways, if you want to increase, you can be able to increase also. You can change it according to your standard. Okay, that is also there. Okay, so then text color it is there. Okay, so if you want to change the text color, you can be able to change it from here. Okay, and then fill color it is there. Okay, so which is just like a background color. Okay, so but with this like it won't look that much nice. Okay, so but anyways, if you want to keep it, you can. Anyways, these things are all like the customization which is for you. Okay, so according to you, anything you can do. Okay, and then we have this text height. Okay, so which is very important. Like how much ever the dimension according to our model, you can be able to give this. Okay, and then we have the draw frame around the text. Okay, so around the text, the frame will be drawn. Okay, so but anyways, this is not like that much like used. Okay, so the frame around the text you will not giving. Okay, so there are majorly two reasons are there. Okay, so sometimes what happens in the tolerances, we will keep the basic tolerances for all. Okay, so that time also we will be able to like we will be usually defining like this only by drawing a frame around. Okay, and sometimes what happens like you'll be requiring some extra dimension. Okay, so which might make your drawing as a extra like additional constraint, like over constraint kind of. Okay, so that time, but still, okay. So sometimes what happens in the like complex drawings you'll be requiring that dimension. Okay, so but you know that it will be over defined, but still for your reference you'll be requiring. Okay, so that time you can just for the particular dimension you can just draw a frame around like this so that it will be represented as this is the extra dimension which is given just for the references, not for the defining the geometry. Okay, so for that purpose also we'll be going to give like this. Okay, so that is why it is not like encouraged to use the frame. Okay, so like this. Okay, so that is why I will just leave it. And then the placement of the text. Okay, so this is the horizontal manner and this is the vertical manner. Okay, so in that way how you wanted to take like place your text. Okay, so as of now vertically it is placed above the like your dimension line. Okay, and here if you just drop down you can keep it as a center, otherwise you can keep it outside and above will be similar only. Okay, and then GIS is the standard and then below of the dimension line. Okay, so majorly the centered or above is used. Okay, so above the dimension like a line, otherwise center to the dimension line. Okay, so anyways you can be able to go. Okay, and majorly center or above will be used. Okay, and then horizontal placement means in this way. Okay, so here also like options are there at extension line 1. Okay, so at the extension line 2. Okay, or else over the extension line 1 or over the extension line 2. Okay, so likewise also you can be able to keep it. Okay, but usually majorly here only centered is used for the horizontal direction. Okay, and view direction also the two things are there, one is left to right and right to left. Okay, and here also this also will be kept as left to right, otherwise the right to left will be difficult to read. Okay, so that is why only left to right is majorly used. Okay, and offset from the dimension line it is there. Okay, so that is also important. The thing is if you keep this as a above, okay, not in the center, if you keep this as a above, from this offset like from this dimension there is a gap, right? So how much ever you wanted to keep that you can be able to change it from here. You can see now the gap got increased over here. Okay, so for such things you'll be having this offset from the dimension line. Okay, and then the text alignment it is there how we wanted to see, like usually it will be aligned with the dimension line, but you can change it for the horizontal for clear visuals. Okay, so you can see if you keep it as a horizontal, reading will be easier. Okay, but still it will take more space. Okay, so that is the disadvantage, but still reading of the dimensions will be easier if you keep it as horizontal. Okay, yeah, so this is what all regarding the text. Okay, and then fitting things. Okay, so anyways are not used that much, but still if you want to see when you give the dimension, sometimes what happens with the more dimension it will get clumsy. Okay, so just to fit the things like inside or you wanted to give up on the text or works or else with respect to the text. Okay, so that time you can be able to just use this. Okay, so but anyways, okay, so you can just keep it as by default and you can change it according to your standards. Okay, yeah, then we have the primary units. Okay, so which is very important because more than like what you do, that also like definitely matters, like with what dimension you are doing majorly, like what you are using, whether it is inches. Okay, so that also do matters, but along with that how you are representing. Okay, so in the sense how you are giving the dimension, that also matters a lot. Okay, so both has to be matched, right? So whether like if you are giving the if you are drawing the drawing in terms of and if you are giving the values in inches, okay, so that doesn't make any sense, right? So if you are like in if you are doing, and the dimensions also will be going to give in terms of only. Okay, yeah, so anyways here format it is there which is as of now decimal. If you want to go with the scientific, engineering, architectural, how you wanted to give it, anyways you can be able to change. But as you know, for the engineering standards we'll be able to we will be going to give only the decimal only. Okay, and then precision, as I told, majorly we are using the itself. Okay, so that's why like 2 points like after the decimal, 2 precision is fine. Okay, and then the separator. Okay, so like after the decimal point, that decimal point whether you wanted to give in terms of period, comma or space, you can be able to decide from here. Okay, So, but anyways, space is not encouraged again. Why? Because there might be the confusion. Okay, so that's why it is recommended that go with the comma or a period. Okay, and then round of value it is there. Okay, so which is like, anyways, we are not going to use the round of value. But what the round of value is means, let's say like you have the value of some 10.5. Okay, so majorly what we will do, we will just override that value or round off that value to 11. Okay, so if it is more than zero point 0.5. Okay, and if it is less than zero point 0.5, we will go for the previous value. Okay, let's say it is 10.3 in the sense, that time we'll go for the 10. That is your round of value. Okay, so for zero point 0.5 likewise. Okay, and then we have prefix and the suffix. Okay, so prefix means preceding the dimension text if you want to add something, and suffix in the sense after the text if you want to add something. Okay, so but anyways, as I told, still you are not going to use this, but most probably for the suffix you might be able to give the value. Sorry, like the unit. Okay, so as of now I'm using the mm. See, the problem is for everything it will be going to add. That is why. Okay. So, like, but still, okay. So you can be able to use. Let's say in your all the drawings, so you are having only radius values. That time, okay, for the prefix, you can add it as a radius. Likewise, r. Okay. And for everything, it will be denoted as r. Okay. So it will start from the r and then value and then the suffix. Okay. So likewise, it will give. Otherwise, if you wanted to give all the values in terms of like your percentage. Okay. So that time also you can be able to add the percentage symbol over here. Okay, so likewise you can do. But anyways, not majorly used, but still you can use it. Okay, and then suppression of the zero it is there, which is very important. Okay, see, when you give the point, okay, so after that what all the like after value what all the points will come. Okay, so those are your trailing zeros. Okay, so those things are called as trailing zero after the decimal point, after the value. Okay, so after decimal point, after the value what all the zeros will come, those are called as trailing zeros. Okay, and before the value if any of the zeros come, that is called as leading zeros. Okay, and suppression of the trailing zero is very important. Anyways, leading zero it is fine. Okay, so why? Because anyways you are not going to enter the value in terms of zero. Okay, so that's why leading zero it is fine, but trailing zero is very important. Like suppression of the trailing zero is very important. Why? Because as you kept the precision as 0 0, if you give the value, okay, so if they give the value of 40 or the like, so let's say any of the value, okay, so if you are giving the value of 40, still it will be going to add it as 40.00. Okay, I'll just show you. I'll just turn this off. Okay, set correct, close. Okay, you can see for the all the values the 0.00 will be added. Why? Because already you are keeping the precision of 0 0. Okay, so that is why for everywhere it will be going to add, but still the meaning of that means same only. Before also it was 20 and now also the meaning is 20 only. Okay, so but the thing is it will make so much clumsiness and it will take a lot of space, right? So for that purpose we'll be just going to suppress the trailing zeros. Okay, so that is why I just need to suppress this and I'll click OK and I'll click set current. Okay, so close. You can see now again it became as a like how it was before. Okay, so, but it doesn't mean that if you have the point values, it will not show. Okay, so let's say I have a point value of something, so that time it will be showing in terms of point. Okay, so if it has, okay, sorry, I took it as the center. Okay, so randomly suppose if I take, you can see if it has the value, it will show. But if the value is zero, it will not show. Okay, so likewise. Okay, so that is the speciality of that suppression. Okay, so that is why majorly like we will suppress the trailing zeros. Okay, yeah. So that is the thing, and yeah. So coming to the angular dimension, nothing to change that much. Okay, so because anyways the units will be the decimal degrees only, and the precision anyways we're not going to keep. Okay, so why? Because majorly in the mechanical, we'll be not going to use even like 1 2 degrees also. Okay, so majorly like 20, 35, 45, majorly those degrees only will use. Okay, so that is why we will not go for the precision. Anyways, it depends. Okay, so let's say if you are manufacturing any of the standard equipments, or else if you are manufacturing the gears. Okay, so that side and all, we'll keep the angles and all in terms of points. Okay, so for that purpose, we can change the we might change the precision, but anyways whole and so like normally will not do this. Okay, and anyways you are not keeping the precision, so there is no point of going for the suppressions. Okay, yeah, so that is the thing. And then we have something called as alternative units. Okay, so alternative units in the sense the same like primary. See, as of now the primary units are Okay, so let's say there are two personas there who is working on a same project. Okay, so one is from mechanical and one is from civil. Okay, so let's say you are creating some door on which your mechanical things. Okay, so which is might be your aluminum structure. Okay, so that structure it is taken by the Okay, so but in that so let's say you are having some glasses or something which will be measured in terms of feet and inches. Okay, so just for comfortable for both the people. Okay, so from both the domain. Okay, so that person should be also having the value like in terms of feet and inches, and this person also should be having the value in terms of mm. That is why we are having this alternate unit kind of. Okay, so where if you just click on this, you can see that one more unit is being turned on. Okay, so as of now still it is in decimal. I'll just change it to the architectural standards. Okay, so you can see now it is coming in terms of feet and inches. Okay, likewise for that purpose we might use the alternate units. Okay, yeah, so that is the thing. And then we have very important, which is tolerance. Okay, see, the tolerance is upper and lower limit of a acceptable error. Okay, so it should be a acceptable error. See, the thing is, as a human being, or let it say you take the machines also. Okay, so the error is the one which we can't avoid, right? So it do happen, right? But still, with respect to a requirement, how much you can expect? Okay, otherwise how much you can accept, right? So let's say if you are creating any of the table, okay, so in which you wanted to drill the hole with the drill bit. Okay, so I have a 10 mm of like bolt which I wanted to fit. Okay, and I want the tight fit. Okay, so in that way what you can do is the lower limit of the tolerance. Okay, so you keep usually like 9.8 hole also. If you drill, that is fine, because with the like your sandpaper or something, you can just sand it, and you can just add that bolt, and you can get the proper fit, right? So such things we will do, right? So that is what it is called as tolerance basically. Okay, yeah, so here how you add that also matters. If you see here, multiple methods are there. If you go for the symmetrical, you might have seen that plus or minus. Okay, which means upper and lower value will be same only. Okay, so let's say I wanted a hole whose lower value has to be more. Okay, so as of now I told the example, right? So where like if it is less hole, that time it is fine. Anyways, we can just manage, and we can get that fit. Okay, if it is more, we can't do anything. Okay, so that is why majorly in this cases the lower limit will be more, and the upper limit will be less, like likewise. And but many times it might be similar also. Okay, so upper value and lower value. Okay, if at all it is similar, we'll go for the symmetrical. Okay, so where the values will be given as plus or minus the value. Okay, so whatever you are going to give. Okay, yeah, so then we have deviation in the sense where we have the upper and lower value different. Okay, so upper value will be given in terms of plus. Okay, so which is let's say I have some requirement where the upper value is only 0.02. Okay, and the lower value, if you go for the 0.05 also fine. Okay, so that time your plus value will be 0.02, and minus value will be zero point 0.5. Okay, so likewise these are the things. Okay, so where like if it is deviation, you can give the upper value as well as the lower value also. Okay, yeah, so then we have the limits in the sense same like your deviation only, where upper and lower both the values will be there. But the thing is, it will be not given as plus or minus sign. Okay, it will be calculating the value, and it will be giving. Okay, so let's say I have a value of 10, for which the tolerance is 0.02 and zero point 0.5. Okay, so that time the upper value will be given as 10.05, and the lower value is given by 9.5. Okay, so likewise it will calculate, and it will give you the value. Okay, and then at last we have the basic as I told like previously. For everything, if you want to keep any of the like standard or basic tolerance, that time you'll just draw a frame around it. Okay, so for that purpose, you can just keep it as a basic. Okay, yeah. So yeah, these are the things regarding your tolerances. Okay, so where zero suppression is also there. Okay, so majorly other things are like that, not that much important, but still you can be able to give the tolerances in this way. Okay, yeah, so if I just keep it none, it will not come. Okay, so for there are two different types of the drawings. Okay, so one is the manual drawing or the normal drawing. Okay, so a machine drawing we call it as, and one more thing is there which is called as production drawing. Okay, so production drawing is the one which is used for the manufacturing purposes. Okay, and if you are doing the production drawing, there you have to provide with the tolerances. Okay, yeah, this is the thing. So these many are the changes. Okay, so which we can be able to do in the dimension style manager, and you can just close it. Okay, you can see this is how it is. Okay, yeah, so this is what all about the dimension style manager and the dimension things. Okay, so I hope you clear about all the things. So if you get any of the doubt regarding this, you can let me know in the comment box. Okay, yeah, so the next thing is your text types. Okay, so there are basically two different types of the text are there. Okay, so which is your single line text and multi-line text. Okay, yeah, so I'll tell you what is single line text and what is multi-line text. Okay, see, the thing is like why we require the text. Okay, so that is the first thing, right? So if you want to give any of the annotations, okay, so we talk about drafting and annotation, right? That is the first workbench which is we are looking as of now, right? So where we will draw it. Okay, so and we will give the information about that. Okay, so majorly till now we gave the dimensions, right? So in the same way, we might be able to we might be requiring to give the like text also. Okay, So which might be in terms of like I require the smooth surface finish. Okay, so in that way. Okay, so for such purposes we'll be using the text. Okay, and here two things are there. Okay, so one is single line text and one is multi-line text. Okay, so we'll see what is the difference between each. Okay, yeah, so I'll just go for the single line text, and it'll ask me to give a point from where I wanted to start, and then it'll ask for the text height, how much it has to be. Okay, as of now it is 2.5. I want to give for some 10 mm. Enter. And then rotation angle it will ask. Okay, so at what angle it has to be, but I don't want any angle. I'll just keep it 0. And you can see whatever I'll be going to add, it will be going to come like this. Okay, and if I just click the cursor anywhere, I can be able to draw from type from there also. Okay, so but the thing is, if I want in terms of paragraphs, that time also you can be able to give. It doesn't mean that one line means only in one line it will come. Okay, so it is not like that. Okay, but the thing is, if you give the paragraph also. Okay, so while creating as of now, you might feel like it is coming in terms of paragraph, but that is not the case. Once you exit from here, once you go and click on that, you can see still it is a single line only. Okay, so that is why it is called as a single line text. Okay, and there are drawbacks are also there of this because you can't change many things in this. Okay, let's say I want to change the text height of this now. Okay, so it is not possible. Okay, you have to go for the scaling. Okay, so you have to relying on that only. Okay, and then if I want to change the color of particular value, it is not possible. Okay, so of particular text if I want to change, particular word if I want to change, it is not possible. Complete word if I want to change, I can do. Okay, so you can just go for you can select it and go for the properties and you can change the color. Okay, so for the particular line you can do likewise. Okay, but for the particular word or the particular letter if I want to do a particular letter, if I want to do the bold, if I want to change the value of that, it is not possible. Okay, so yeah, that is the thing. For the basic things, we can use this. Let's say like front view, top view, like this. If you want to give the annotation for that purpose, you can be able to use this. Okay. Anyways, you can change the font style also. Okay. So for which you just need to drop down here and you have to go for this. Okay. So text style manager. Okay. So if you just click on that, here the font name it is there, which is as of now Arial. I want to change it for the something else. Okay. So I changed it, and if I just apply it, close it, you can see now it got changed. But the problem is for everything it will be going to change. Okay. That is how the single line text is. Okay, so still majorly will not use, but still it is there, the option. Okay, so for the simple things we can be able to use this. Okay, yeah, so then we have very important, which is a multi-line text. Okay, so multi-line text not only creates the your paragraph, also it will be having multiple things to customize in that. Okay, so you can see if I go for the multi-line text, I can be able to give the paragraph like this. Okay, so I'll be going to give a give a box like this. Okay, so which usually you will give in terms of your Word or MS Office. Okay, so anywhere you go, it will be going to give like this, and you can see now a tab bar only it opened. Okay, so which is exactly similar to your MS Office. Okay, yeah, you can see now whatever I wanted to like type, I'll just going to give it like this. Okay, and here you can see by default, you what all you change in the single line text, the same thing it is there here also. Okay, so but still if I want to change, okay, so I want to like highlight only so much. Okay, you can see I'll just select this, and I want to change the value of this to the 25. Okay, you can see I can be able to change. Okay, yeah, so I wanted to change the color of this too. Okay, I can be able to change like this. Okay, and I want these two things has to be only those two things has to be in a different font style. You can see I can be able to do. Okay, and here I wanted to these things to be as of now it is bold. Okay, so italic I wanted. Okay, strike through. Okay, so it has to be should be having a line like this. Okay, and I want this to be a different color. Okay, so likewise, okay, whatever the changes, okay, so for the particular thing also, if I require, I can be able to do like that. Okay, so overline it is there, underline it is there. Okay, and here also the same thing. If you once you create, okay, so it is fixed. Okay, so still you can change the type. Okay, so you can type the different thing. Okay, so that is the that is there. Okay, so but still if I want to change in terms of like customization in that in terms of color or the text style of that, it is not possible. Okay, so that is the only thing. Otherwise, but still you can see if you compare between these two, this will look nice, right? So this will look better than this. Okay, so that is why major cases will be going to use multi-line text only. Okay, so but still if I go for here, you can see the height, you can change the text height, you can change for the particular thing also if you want, you can change. The thing is you just need to select that. Okay, yeah, so then you can go for the match properties also. This property I wanted to match to this. Okay, you can see completely it got changed, right? So but still that is the thing. So here I wanted to change it to for the different like style. Okay, and for this I want to change the different color. Okay, so likewise the things are okay. So whatever you want to do, okay, so you can be able to do with the help of this multi-line text. Okay, so just like your MS Word. Okay, so it is exactly similar to this. Okay, so yeah, So then italic it is there. If you want to make it as italic, and if you want to make it as a strike through, okay, so which means at the center the one line will come, right? So in that way, underline if you want to give, overline if you want to give. Okay, so underline in the sense bottom it will come. Okay, so you can see it will be underlined. Okay, so if you go for the overline, it will become on top likewise. Okay, and any of the value if you want to make it as a subscript or superscript. Okay, so this is the superscript, and if you want to do this as a subscript, okay, so I want these two things as a subscript, I can be able to do like this. Okay, yeah, so this is like this is what like things are. Okay, and here you can see all the things I want uppercase or lowercase. Okay, likewise also I can be able to change, and here I can change the text style. Okay, so whatever the text you want, like font, sorry. Okay, so that thing you can change here, and here you can change the color, and here you can change the your layer property. Okay, so anyways, regarding this layer also we'll see. And then we have the justification. Okay, so there are total 9 different types of the justifications are there. Okay, so I'll tell you in what way it is. And then bullets and numbering it is there. Okay, so if you have like a paragraph kind of thing, okay, so that time you can be able to add the bullets to that. Okay, so I go with the multi-line text. Okay, so where I wanted in terms of bullets. Okay, so if I just click on this, okay, so you can see if I just go for the paragraph, I'll create some paragraph. And for all these things, I want the bullets. I can just select on this and I can click on the bullets. Okay, so numbered bullets. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, it will come. Okay. So likewise, you can be able to change lettered I want, bulleted I want. Okay. So however you want it. Okay. So in that way, you can be able to go to add the bullets. Okay. Line spacing it is there, which is in between this. Okay. So from this paragraph to this, like from this line to this line, in between how much gap has to be there. Okay. So that you can maintain from here. Okay. And then here also like normal justification it is there, which is left, middle, right, and justify means completely it will be going to add, and distribute means toward the size. Okay, so how much ever it is. Okay, so to that it will be going to distribute it like this. Okay, yeah. So that is the thing. And then if you want to add the columns, okay, you can be able to add here. Okay, so you can see static columns. I wanted 3 columns here. Okay, likewise columns also you can be able to add. And if you want to add the symbols, that is also possible. Okay, so I'll just go for the symbol. Okay, so let's say I wanted the degree or anything. Okay, so I want the degree of 30 degrees. I want 30, and then I'll go for the symbol and I'll add the degree. Okay, and then I want a diameter of 25. You can see in front of that there is something. Okay, so this thing. Okay, so this thing it is a shortcut of it. Okay, so if I go for the percent c, I'll be able to get the diameter. Okay, you can see I'll just type percent c. It will be converted as a your diameter symbol. Okay, so diameter of 25 I have. Okay, so let 25 likewise. Okay, so that is for the adding the symbol. Okay, so likewise a spell checker is there. If any of the mistake you do in terms of text, it will be going to add the red line like this. Okay, so there is a spell checker. And the edit dictionary, if you want to add this as a text inside this, okay, you can be able to add, and find and replace, that also option it is there. If you want to find any of the particular word and replace it by some different word, you can do that. Okay, and then ruler. Okay, so ruler means this, and these are the visualizations. Okay, and then if you just close it, okay, so it will be closed like this. Okay, this is what all about your multi-line text. Okay, so which is majorly used basically, right? So there are 2 different types of the text. One is single line and one is multi-line, and multi-line is used the like maximum. Okay, yeah. So because many changes we can be able to do in that. Okay, so yeah, I hope you clear with all the things about your the single line and the multi-line text. And this is majorly for representing something. Okay, so if you want to give idea about that particular thing, like how much surface finish it has to be, all those things. For that purpose, majorly we'll use the text. Okay. Yeah. So this is what all about the today's session, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, then make sure to like and subscribe the channel. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching.